workbook opens near the lamp, margins full of second tries, a sharpened point above the page, a pink eraser worn at one end. I write the line then strike it out, not because it failed too hard, only that it leaned away from what I knew but had not said. Shavings curl beside my wrist, gray dust softens on the desk. The room is plain enough to hear my own breath settle into pace. Write it down and breathe again. Write it down and breathe again. Not all clear on the first pass, not all firm the first time through. Write it down and breathe again. A truck back somewhere down the street, the building pipe gives one low knock. The tea beside me has gone cool, but still I reach for it on time. I learn by making marks then space, by rubbing one line into air, by letting thought become a trace, then choosing which one gets to stay. There is mercy in revision, there is calm in honest work, not a stage and not a race, just a page and steady nerve. Write it down and breathe again. Write it down and breathe again, till the sentence holds its weight, till the hand unclenches wide. Write it down and breathe again. Dust collects along the edge, the answer comes in simple words.
The key turns once in the narrow door, a chair leg drags across the floor. The machine wakes with a low warm sound, a folded note falls to the ground. It says buy milk and call at noon. Plain and opening soon. I smooth the paper with my thumb. The day begins before it comes. Cups are stacked beside the sink. Steam writes nothing on the steel. Red arrives in paper sleeves. Morning settles in my knees. Keep this day in easy motion. Keep this day in easy motion. Not too fast and not too tight. Let it land and sit just right. Keep this day in easy motion. I tie my hair and count the spoons. The jacket hangs across a chair. The floor holds yesterday in dust. My hands move first and then I trust. The first small order clears the air. The room becomes a place to share. No grand plan in what I do, only what these fingers knew. Soft enough to hold together, strong enough for any weather. Keep this day in easy motion. Keep this day in easy motion. Leave some room inside the pace. Leave some calm around this place. Keep this day in easy motion. Back into my pocket. The latch stays warm against my hand.
White slip inside my coat, a list of things I chose today. Bread and soap and tea and pears, a marker for the rent this week. My steps ring small against the curb. The crossing light blinks without care. I read the total one more time, then fold it down to fit my hand. Nothing grand was bought today, nothing wasted on a dare. Just enough to keep the place, just enough to meet the air. I fold the day and carry it home. I fold the day and carry it home. Not as weight and not as proof, just the shape of what got used. I fold the day and carry it home. A child runs past with sauce on sleeves. Two workers laugh beside a truck. A stray leaf skates along the wall. The wind is mild and smells of bread. I stop to fix my untied lace. A bike bell taps the edge of noon. An old man checks his shopping bag, nods at no one in particular. We all have sums we do not say. We all have lists beneath our coats. Tiny numbers keep us near. Tiny choices keep us close. I fold the day and carry it home. I fold the day and carry it home. Till the table takes it in, till the hallway light turns dim. I fold the day and carry it home. paper warms inside my palm. The block ends where the door begins.
The cup is hot, but not too hot. The sleeve is rough against my skin. You ask if work ran late again. I say it did, but here I am. We stand beside the pastry case. Our coats still carry outside air. The line is short, the floor is dry. A small song hums behind the bar. You laugh before you take a sip. I watch the steam lean to the side. There is no rush to fill the space. No need to turn this into more. Hold the heat and let it stay. Hold the heat and let it stay. Like a word said soft enough to mean enough without display. Hold the heat and let it stay. A crumb falls down onto your scarf. You brush it off and smile at me. Someone calls a name too loud, then steps aside and checks the lid. Your hands are red from carrying bags. My thumb has ink from a receipt. The day is simple in the best and most unadvertised of ways. Nothing shining over us, nothing borrowed from a screen. Just the cup between our hands and a place where we can leave. Hold the heat and let it stay. Hold the heat and let it stay. Till the drink is almost gone, till the talk can travel on. Hold the heat and let it stay. The sleeve bends flat inside my coat. Its warmth remains past the last sip.
Bread and cloth and greens entwined, a newspaper under both. The basket takes the weight with grace. The tires hum against the street I ride one hand to shade my eyes. The lane is clear enough to trust. A dog looks up from under steps, then curls back down without concern. I do not raise the traffic light, I do not lean into the hill. The city has a softer speed when nothing fragile needs to spill. Nothing spills when I move this slow. Nothing spills when I move this slow. Not the bread and not the thought, not the ease I almost lost. Nothing spills when I move this slow. A florist sweeps the wet front mat. A child drags chalk across the curb. The frame clicks once above a crack. My sleeve takes in the mild clean air. At one red light I set my feet and hear a train beyond the roofs. The flowers tap against the wire like patient hands that know the road. There are days to push and prove. There are days to simply bring what the table will receive, what the room has asked to keep. Nothing spills when I move this slow. Nothing spills when I move this slow. Let the corners pass me by. Let the wheels take time to try. Nothing spills when I move this slow. Beside the peeling wall, the basket empties without noise.
Beside the till, bright enough to catch the eye. I roll it once across the wood, then press my thumb into the skin. The peel gives way with gentle spray. A sharp, clean scent fills up the room. The segments shine without a word. My nails pick white threads from the edge. Someone asks if one is ripe. I hand a half across the bar. The room wakes up from a quiet drift by something simple cut apart. Sweet on my hands and bright on the room. Sweet on my hands and bright on the room. Not too loud and not too long, just enough to lift the noon. Sweet on my hands. trash bin takes the curling peel. A slice sits near the folded napkins. A truck backs in beyond the door. Its low reverse tone fades away. I wipe the board and clear the knife. The scent remains inside the grain. A coat comes off a wooden hook. A laugh arrives from near the sink. I like the things that open clean. I like the tasks that leave a trace. Not for show and not for praise, just a fresh turn in the place. Sweet on my hands and bright on the room. Sweet on my hands and bright on the room. Stay a while inside the air. Stay a while above the wood. Sweet on my hands and bright on the room. I save one piece for later on. Its color lingers in my sleep.
Coins collect beside the tray, copper, silver, soft and dull. I sort them by the edge and face, then slide them back into the cup. A child counts out with careful lips, an older hand waves one away. I add the gap and shake my head like it was never worth a sigh. The bowl keeps singing under touch, a plain bright note of metal worn. But even that can turn less sharp when the room is kind enough. Leave the sharp edge out. Leave the sharp edge out. From the words and from the jaw, from the way we pass the cost. Leave the sharp edge out. A bus card fails on second tap. A zipper sticks against a coat. The line grows tight then loosens fast because no one chooses heat. I push the sugar to the side. You take the smaller of two straws. The jar near the window fills with tips and buttons and odd care. There is more than what we owe. There is how we let it land. A morning can be held or bruised by the smallest open hand. Leave the sharp edge out. Leave the sharp edge out of the change and of the day, of the words we almost say. Leave the sharp edge out. settles in the bowl, and all the room feels easier.
The mirror in the metal wall shows me before I choose a face. Fluorescent lines across my coat, a loose thread near the second button. I fix my collar with one hand. My bag slips down against my knee. The floor count changes with a tone that sounds more tired than I do. No audience waits at level 4. No judge stands by the opening door. Still I look as if I need to pass a test I did not take. I meet my face without a fight. I meet my face without a fight. No hard stare and no excuse, just the fact of being here. I meet my face without a fight. The ride is short but clear enough to notice how my shoulders sit, to lower them a little more, to let my mouth return to rest. A scuff mark near the number pad, a taped up corner in the rail. The ordinary state of things makes room for me to stay the same. I do not need a grand repair. I do not need a cleaner line. Only one small honest look before the hallway takes my stride. I meet my face without a fight. I meet my face without a fight. Then the doors divide the glass and the day receives me back. I meet my face without a fight. The mirror keeps no copy now. It closes with a silver door.
A paper ticket in my fist, the ink already wearing thin. I step off where the market ends and cross beneath the hanging sign. The next route starts 2 blocks ahead. I hear it hiss before I see my shoes pick grit from broken curb. My coat takes on the smell of rain. I'm not late, but not ahead. That space between has its own shape, a place where plans can bend a bit without becoming lost at once. One more ride and I will get there. One more ride and I will get there. Not by force and not by luck, just by staying with the route. One more ride and I will get there. A woman folds her shopping list. A worker rubs dust from his sleeves. A school bag leans against a bench. The driver checks the mirror twice. I tap my card and take the back. Where heat comes up beneath the seat, the windows show a moving row of loading docks and painted walls. Most days turn by little shifts, a lane, a stop, a different turn. Not a break and not a fall, just a handoff in the road. One more ride and I will get there. One more ride and I will get there. One more ride and I will get there. Till the block I know appears, till the door I use is near. One more ride and I will get there. The ticket bends inside my palm. The bus pulls on through yellow light.
Plates lean towed beside the sink, spoons collecting cloudy cups. The faucet starts with a tired jump and settles into steady use. Soap lifts circles on the steel. My sleeves are rolled about the wrist. A towel waits across the rack. The backroom clock moves without sound. The room out front has thinned to few. Their voices fall below the glass. I watch the steam rise, then disappear before it reaches eye level. Warm water lifts the day away. Warm water lifts the day. And not the work, just the noise that clung to them. Warm water lifts the day away. A lemon wedge gone pale and dry, a cracked mug from the morning shift. The brush bends flat against a bowl and turns a ring to open shine. I stack each plate by weight and size. I know their edges in the dark. The body learns its quiet jobs and carries them without complaint. There is peace and useful care in the rinse and in the stack, in the small complete result that leaves no extra story back. Warm water lifts the day away. Warm water lifts the day away. Till the counter shows its grain, till the rails no longer drip. Warm water lifts the day away. My hands keep heat after the sink.
Rows of doors with spinning shirts, blue plastic chairs against the wall, detergent sweetness in the air. A sock escaped and waits nearby. I feed the machine with careful change, then check the timer twice in case the radio above the sink finds a station through the static. No one here came for the song, still every head leans just a bit. When the chorus clears the noise and lands between the turning drums, let the little song turn around. Let the little song turn around. With the shirts and with the sheets, with a week caught in the cloth, let the little song turn around. A father folds the smallest clothes, a woman marks a missing glove. The dryer door reflects the lights in soft bent circles at my feet. I read one page, then lose my place, because the tune is easier to sit inside than any news or thought I carried through the door. How much better things can feel when no one asks them to be deep. Just a room that works on time and a line that keeps its beat. Let the little song turn round. Let the little song turn round, till the fabric settles down, till the bins are clear again. Let the little song turn round. Against my chest and walk back out with folded sleeves.
Clay pot by the apartment door, two leaves bent toward the outer light. The soil is dry around the rim. I touch it once and know the rest. The watering can is made of tin. It leaves a ring upon the tile. I pour until the dirt turns dark and stops resisting what it gets. The hallway smells of paint and shoes. A stroller waits beside the stairs. Someone taped a note about a cat. Someone else moved it to the side. Green finds room where I live. Green finds room where I live. Not in fields and not in rows, just by claiming what it can. Green finds room where I live. The plan is not impressive yet, no climbing vine, no bloom to show. Still every week it gives one sign, a thicker stem, a cleaner lift. I turn the pot a quarter round, so both sides get a fairer chance. The small act steady something large that words have no real use for. Homes are built by what we tend, by the water and the turn, by the things that do not speak yet answer every time we learn. Green finds room where I live. Green finds room where I live. Through the cracks of ordinary days, through the walls of shared fatigue, green finds room where I live. The drawer slides out with a practice pull. Bills laid flat by size and face. Coins in rows that catch the lamp. Receipts tucked under rubber bands. I count one slow and once again the pencil taps against my thumb. A small mistake can't hide in plain. When the room is ready to go dark, the total waits without emotion. No blame inside the printed box, only what came in and what went out, and what the hands recorded right. Count it clear and leave it kind. Count it clear and leave it kind. Not with fear and not with heat, just the numbers as they stand. Count it clear and leave it kind. I think about the busy hour when cups lined up beside the sink, when names were called too quickly once and softer on the second round. The drawer remembers all of that in paper slips and worn out change. But counting turns it into shape, a finished stack, a closed account. Some days ask for sharp control, some ask for patience at the close. Both can live inside one hand if the grip knows when to loosen. Count it clear and leave it kind. Count it clear and leave it kind. Till the latch can meet the frame, till the light above it fades. Count it clear and leave it kind.
10-square ticket in my hand, 37 printed in black. The bench is hard against my legs. The heater clicks below the wall. A child swings one untied shoe. A man reads labels on a box. The speaker calls another turn, then falls back into air and hum. No one here can speed the board. No one here can bargain time. We sit inside the measured gap and learn the pace we did not choose. My turn comes in its own good time. My turn comes in its own good time. Not too late, not too soon, just when my number meets the air. My turn comes in its own good time. I smooth the paper once again, though there is nothing left to smooth. The woman at the desk looks tired. Still she nods with patient eyes. I watch the red digits change and stop, then change again with little force. A life can press against itself, or rest a while inside the queue. I have tried both ways before. I know which one leaves less behind. Not surrender and not delay, just a steadier kind of mind. My turn comes in its own good time. My turn comes in its own good time. When it comes, I will stand up with the same breath I had before. My turn comes in its own good time. The ticket bends around my thumb. The board clicks once and shows my line.
Rice in a bowl and soup on the side, kimchi bright against the tray. The spoon reflects the kitchen lamp. My shirt sleeve smells of outside wind. I set the tray upon the mat and sit before I take a bite. The room is quiet in a way that asks for nothing extra now. No audio was done. No need to name the hardest part. Only food made warm enough to tell the body it can rest. Set it down and call it enough. Set it down and call it enough. Not the perfect end of things, just a meal at the proper hour. Set it down and call it enough. A message blinks but can't wait still. The scene can wait. Another song, I taste the broth and feel the day unhook itself from jaw and neck. The tray holds more than bowls and heat. It holds permission to be done, to stop revising every scene and let the evening simply sit. There is grace in enough. There is strength in enough. In the plain and finished plate, in the ordinary appetite. Set it down and call it enough. Set it down and call it enough. Till the spoon rests on the rim, till the room goes still and wide. Set it down and call it enough. Steam fades above the soup. My shoulders lower with the bowl.
Rain has already left the street, but drops remain along the rail. My umbrella hangs from one hand, its curved grip warm from holding on. The pavement keeps a darker tone. Cars move with softer tire sound. A shop owner folds the awning back and shakes the water from the edge. I do not open it again. The cloud line breaks above the roofs. The need is past but not the trace. My palm still feels what it had done. My hand remembers the weather. My hand remembers the weather. Even when the sky lets go, even when the road dries out, my hand remembers the weather. A bus stop bench shines under lamps. A paper cup collapses flat. The gutters carry leaves and grit toward a grate beside the curb. I think of all the things we keep after the reason disappears. A tightened grip, a careful glance, a habit of preparing first. Not all memory is a burden. Some of it is simple skill, a shape that stays within the hand long enough to guide us home. My passes by degrees. As the crossing light turns green, my hand remembers the weather.
The stove sticks once, then opens with a low wood sigh. Inside her bowls I use each week, tea tins and salt and folded cloth. My fingers know which shelf to reach, even before I look inside. A house is learned by small returns, by where things live and how they sound. The hinge gives one familiar note, the handle cool against the skin, nothing polished for display, only use made steady over time. Every hinge knows where I belong. Every hinge knows where I belong. In this room and in this hour, in the reach of what I need. Every hinge knows where I belong. I take the bowl with a faded rim and close the door without a slam. The floor has one uneven board, the window frame is peeling paint. None of it reduces home, it makes the map more truly mine. A place becomes a place through air, and through the roots the body trusts. I have looked for peace in bigger things and passed it by in narrow rooms, till one old hinge told me enough. With a sound I always knew, every hinge knows where I belong. Every hinge knows where I belong. Not by claim and not by law, but by daily touch and care. Every hinge knows where I belong. The cabinet rests back in place. The kettle starts its evening hum.
A shallow drawer beneath the lamp, old Postcards stacked with rubber bands, mountains, harbors, market squares, names of towns I never saw. Some were sent and some were bought, for someday that did not arrive. Still the cardstock keeps its shape, and the ink stays clear enough to read. I slide one thumb across the edge, a date appears from years ago. The message is direct and plain, no clever turn, no borrowed pose. I keep what still speaks plain, and I keep what still speaks plain. Not because it shines with age, but because it tells the truth. I keep what still speaks plain. The corner bends where water dries, a stamp is half torn from the side. One card says the soup was good and the room was smaller than expected. Another says the train was late, but the sea was worth the wait. The best lines tend to leave some room and do not try to become more. I sort them into yes and no. A quiet work for quiet life. Not all memories should be saved, but some deserves a proper drawer. I keep what still speaks plain. I keep what still speaks plain. Till the stack grows thin and sure, till the band can hold it clean. I keep what still speaks plain. The drawer slides in beneath my hand. The room grows deeper into dust.
Chair pushed under halfway wrong, a ring of water on the wood, a napkin folded into none by hands that left in a quick goodbye. I clear the glass and wipe the mark, then pause before I lift the chair. The room is nearly all the way done, but not yet finished with itself. The door has stopped receiving steps. The street is thin beyond the pane. A low light holds the corner booth and makes the grain look almost soft. Leave one chair out for tomorrow. Leave one chair out for tomorrow. Not in fear, by chance, but to welcome what returns. Leave one chair out for tomorrow. I know the habit of complete, of lining every edge exact, yet something in the final round calls for one small open sign. A room can end and still close and still make room for what has not yet taken shape, but already moves this way. I stack the others with no noise. I sweep the floor beneath the bar, then place one chair where morning light will find it first. Beside the wall, leave one chair out for tomorrow. Somewhere clear, so the next hand enters soft. Leave one chair out for tomorrow. The cloth dries flat upon the wood. The quiet keeps the seed in view.
Key waits in the smallest pocket, warm from walking next to skin. At the gate I hear the latch before I touch the metal plate. The hallway smells of cooked rice, a television through one wall, shoes rest in a patient row. Notice taped above the switch, I fit the key without a miss. The lock turns once and then gives way. That small clean sound can settle more than any speech I heard all day. Turn the lock and let the day go still. Turn the lock and let the day go still. Not erased and not denied, just set down where it can rest. Turn the lock and let the day go still. The bag comes off the shoulder first, then the watch and then the shoes. I wash my hands in warm, clear water and watch the street dust leave the skin. No grand ending waits in here, only the room I know by touch. The cup I use, the towel hook, the soft chair by the narrow shelf. This is enough for evening now. A door that closes with no fight, a place where all unfinished things can wait until a better light. Turn the lock and let the day go still. Turn the lock and let the day go still. Turn the lock and let the day go still. Till the jaw releases down, till the chest forgets the rush. Turn the lock and let the day go still. The key returns to its small